Hey y'all, what's up? It's your girl Zen here, aka your favorite baby mama, back at it again with yet another video, and this time it's going to be a pregnancy update video to kind of let y'all know what I've been going through thus far throughout this pregnancy, starting with before I found out I was pregnant, like the symptoms and stuff I was having before I found out I was pregnant, which I kind of discussed in my how I found out I was pregnant video, and leading up to week 9 of my pregnancy. I'm gonna do pregnancy update videos, but it's gonna be bi-weekly, so like every 2 weeks y'all get a pregnancy update video, just so that I'm not uploading so much content about the baby and then it just gets redundant, or it just gets boring, or you don't want to hear about it or whatever. So that's my new plan, just to put y'all on notice. Alright, so before I knew I was pregnant, kind of like before I knew I was pregnant, leading into week 4, because I found out I was pregnant when I was 4 weeks and 2 days, so it was like within week 4. So like I said in the how I found out I was pregnant video, I was cramping for days prior to finding out that I was pregnant. I was very moody and emotional. Like, I was just so angry and upset and stuff. Like, little things would piss me off or whatever, and I was like going off on my BF at the time and like just making everything a big deal when it really wasn't that big of a deal or whatever. But it really was to me. It really was a big deal, but like obviously like the hormones and stuff and the baby like had me like on 100 when I really should have just been on 10. And I was like kind of emotional to the point where I would get mad and then I would want to cry because I'm like so upset and I'm so mad or whatever. But I ain't crying though, because gangsters don't cry. And also bloating. I noticed that I was bloating as well. So those 3 symptoms, or 3/4 symptoms, the bloating, the moodiness and being super emotional, and then the cramping, they're all like menstrual, like those are PMS symptoms, but they're also pregnancy symptoms, early pregnancy symptoms as well. So be careful with that. Just because you cramping and you all emo and you crying and stuff and you know you bloated, don't mean you always getting your period. Sometimes it means you're pregnant, sis. It be like that sometimes. So then after I found out I was pregnant, so this is starting from like week 4 going into week 9, I had, it was basically almost constant morning sickness and nausea, literally from the time I woke up and got out of bed and started moving up until I would lay down again and like go to sleep. Like, I would have to go to sleep in order to get some like relief from the nausea. Like, it would go away for a little bit, but then it would like come back in full force. Like, I was literally nauseous 99% of my day. Well, 95% of my day I was usually nauseous and like feeling like I was going to throw up. I also had motion sickness, so I couldn't sit in the back seat of a car. Sitting in the passenger side is kind of iffy for me if it's going to be a long time, but definitely sitting in the back seat is a no-go. After I found out I was pregnant, I went to a yoga class, and in that freaking yoga class, it was like it was with like the little, it was like kind of like acro yoga, but not really acro yoga. I can't remember what it's called, but it was with these like long pieces of fabric, and you like in there like with a hammock, you using the fabric to kind of do the poses and stuff. And being in there and like swinging around and not having like stationary movements, oh my gosh, like I was about to puke my brains out. That was rough. Also, the bloating got worse after I found out I was pregnant. It got to the point where I was literally bloated almost as much as I was bloated more than I was nauseous. Like, it's so crazy. I told you I was nauseous 95% of the day. Like, literally 112% of the day I'm bloated. Like, I'm like fat. Like, I couldn't button my pants. Like, it's crazy. I popped a couple of waist beads, destroyed them. They didn't fit around my belly anymore. And it's all because of bloating, because your digestive system slows down to break down your food properly, to extract all the nutrients for your body, for your baby and all that stuff. So your food moves slower through your digestive system. So your food is sitting on your stomach longer, which increases my nausea and just makes me look really fat and disgusting. I also started burping all the time. Like, I literally had uncontrollable burps from like week 5 all the way up until like week 9. Excuse me. As you can see, I'm almost 11 weeks and I'm still kind of burping or whatever. But it's not as bad now as it was before. Like, when I was super bloated, I was burping all the time. Like, I could not stop burping. It was really bad. Also farting too, because of all that air in my belly. Y'all, this could be to your body, so y'all might as well get ready. I should have put a disclaimer in the beginning. So mood swings, I'm on 100 all the time. I'm super, like, I get irritable so fast. I get so angry. I get sad over nothing and over stuff that wouldn't normally make me so sad that I kind of want to cry. Like, I'm like that a lot now. Fatigue and exhaustion, of course. I was so... You tired? I was so exhausted, so tired. Like, all I wanted to do was sleep. Literally, if I wasn't able to take a nap during the day or whatever, like take my lunch break and like take a nap in my car, I would have to go to sleep as soon as I get home from work, because I would just be so tired and I wouldn't have any energy. And then I would still go to bed at 11 o'clock and wake up the next morning like super tired, like I never went to sleep. Okay. That's another one of the symptoms. I got a stuffy nose, runny nose all the time. Like, my nose is always stuffy. I'm always sniffling and stuff all the time, which is super annoying because it's summertime. And, like, people ask me if I have a cold or whatever, but I don't. I'm just sniffling and stuff all the time. Constipation is another thing that goes with, like, the bloating and the digestive stuff. I'm usually constipated for 2 to 3 days out the week. And then I'll get like a day where I'm like actually like able to poop or whatever, and that'll be cool. It's hard for me to actually poop. It's really hard. It's either really hard for me to poop or I have diarrhea. It's like never a normal poop, which is super annoying and agitating because, like, bruh, like, I just want to poop like a normal person. My bad. Okay. I also experienced a lot of like cramping, especially in the beginning, like a lot of cramping in my like lower abdomen and stuff because of like the implantation of the like little zygote and all that stuff. So that happened. A lot of cramping. I also had, over the weeks, I also had an increase in vaginal discharge or whatever. Yeah, I didn't get sore boobs right away. Literally, it's almost immediately after I found out that I was pregnant, my nipples were super sensitive, like, and they were so sore. And I don't have like really sensitive nipples. Like, they're not that sensitive and they're not that reactive. But they were just hurting so bad. Literally, the stream of water, like from the shower, would hit my nipple and I would like almost be in tears. Like, it hurt that bad. Like, I can't turn the steering wheel and like brush past my nipple because that hurts. I've done all these things and I literally almost like took myself out. Like, y'all, it's no joke. Like, my nipples are on 100. It's ridiculous. Also, over time, like the breast tenderness started to come, but usually it's like around the outsides of my boobs, or like the inside or like the bottom of my boobs or whatever. And like Jody would be like laying on my chest and he'll like try to move and adjust so he can get comfortable, and he'd be like pushing into my boob and it hurts so bad. Like, it feels like somebody punched you in the titty for real. Over time, I started to notice like that that my boobs were getting a little bit bigger, more fuller and like kind of heavier or whatever. And also that I started to develop these like bumps around my nipple, not like pimple bumps or like rash bumps, but they're just like these they're like duct bumps, if that makes sense. So over time, I started to get like little headaches here and there, but it's usually if I'm not drinking enough water or like stuff like that when I get the headaches. So it's not anything that's like too crazy or whatever. Also, like I gag a lot when I brush my teeth in the morning and at night or whatever. Like I can't leave any of the like toothpaste, like foam, like residue stuff on the toothbrush when I go to like brush my tongue or something, or like brush like the back teeth, because it makes me gag. To the point where if I ate something the night prior, I throw it up. If I didn't eat anything, then I'm just like dry heaving really, really bad, and it, like my stomach will be hurting because I'm like my body wants to like press something out or like regurgitate stuff, but it's nothing there. So my body's just going through emotions pretty much, and that stuff hurts. I also can't chew food in my mouth for a really long time, because then I'll start gagging. Like the mushiness of the food as you start like breaking it down and like chomping on it, it's kind of gross. So I have to like take smaller bites or whatever, because if I don't and I break off a big piece of something like a burger and I take a big bite and I can't like just get it all like chewed up and swallow it fast enough, I will start gagging, and then I won't be able to eat the rest of it. Let's see. My anxiety over the past like, you know, like 5 weeks has been like through the roof. Because I just worry about a lot of stuff or whatever. Like I previously had a miscarriage. I've had a miscarriage before. So like going through the time frames and stuff of like early pregnancy, it's like really rough for me, because I was like always worried about whether or not I was going to have a miscarriage, and every little ache and pain I was just like, you know, hey, this kind of feels similar to this, or I'm like putting myself into that mind frame. And then with the like increase in the vaginal discharge and stuff, like I thought that I was like bleeding or whatever, and you know, stuff like that. So, you know, I thought maybe it was an ectopic pregnancy, or maybe it was like me losing the baby or whatever. But every time I would check, it would just be like regular like vaginal discharge, like whatever. So it was nothing to be concerned about. I had sciatica. I have sciatica. And y'all can Google it. I'm not going to get into what that is or whatever, but y'all Google it. Look at what sciatica is. So I have that, and a lot of people don't know. Like that's why I'm always complaining about like my hip or my lower back hurting or whatever. And it causes a lot of pain for me in my legs and in my lower back. And now that I'm pregnant, it's been like causing me to have more lower back pain and more hip, like even with me not doing anything. Like all I was doing was sleeping for weeks, and I was still having that sciatic pain. Like I was still getting those sharp pains shooting down my legs. I was still getting like the feeling of the tension of the muscle and the tendon pulling against my actual hip joint, my hip bone and stuff like that. So that's been pretty rough to deal with and kind of negate. So I have to always remember to like do little stuff. Like I'm always like massaging my hips or like my lower back and stuff, because I'm usually in pain when I'm doing that. And my lower back pops a lot. Like my pelvic area like pops a lot, because it's like, you know, I just got a lot of stuff going on in that region, and it's only gonna get worse as the pregnancy goes on, unfortunately. But hopefully I'll be able to mitigate some of that as like time goes by, and like with more research and, you know, more conversations with my doctors and stuff like that. I've only wanted fast food like for the first 2 weeks. All I ate was pretty much In-N-Out. Like I craved In-N-Out a lot, like the onions at In-N-Out, but not on the burger, on the animal fries. So I was going to In-N-Out a lot. I literally ate it like maybe 6 or 7 times within like a 2-week period, which is a lot for me, because I don't even think In-N-Out is like all of that. Like In-N-Out is overrated and it's cool, but it's not that great. But this pregnancy, whew, that shit good, okay? It's good. Maybe they changed the formula or something. Maybe they took a page out of Mr. Krabs' book and got the Krabby Patty formula, because that shit been good lately for real. As far as cosmetic, oh, also pregnancy brain, your girl be losing track of her thoughts, be losing track of my stuff. I run in and out the house like 5 times when I get ready to leave for work in the morning. Like I always forget something. Like I always have to come back in the house for something. Like there's not a time that I haven't gone to my car, hopped in my car, and went straight to work since I've been pregnant. Like it's bad. Like, I literally pulled out my driveway, got halfway to work, and then realized I had to turn back around and come back home to get something that I forgot. Like, y'all, this pregnancy brain is stressful. It's ridiculous. I'll literally be thinking about something and just it goes away. Like, I'll forget why I walked into a room, or I'll forget mid-conversation, I'll forget my thought, and then I'll just be sitting there looking stupid because I don't remember stuff. Or like, I'll know a word, like I'm trying to describe something, or I'm like trying to like say something, and like I will dead ass like not know the word. Like, I know the word that I'm talking about, but it won't come out of my mouth. Like, I can't, my brain and my mouth ain't connecting, and it just won't come out. So I don't know if that's pregnancy brain or I'm just crazy. My nails are longer and stronger. I can tell that much because I got my nails like cut down before I knew I was pregnant. My nails are like cut down really short, and then boom, like now my nails are long as hell and they don't break. Like, they just don't break. Like, I haven't broken a nail in like weeks, like almost 2 months. And now I'm gonna say that and I'm gonna end up breaking the fucking nail. Watch. That's my life. Also, my face cleared up a lot. So with the first pregnancy, I didn't understand what the fuck people were talking about when they was talking about pregnancy glow, because I was ugly as hell. Like, I broke out, my entire face broke out, my chin broke out really bad, my shoulders, my back, my chest broke out. Like, I literally had like the worst case of like acne all over my body, like my upper body and my face. It was horrible. And with that comes acne spots and like dark marks and stuff like that. So I had all of that stuff, acne scarring and stuff. This time around, my skin actually, I had a few like residual, like, you know, pimples and stuff left over, like blackheads and stuff, or like just dark marks left over from like that time frame or whatever. And like, I was in the process of like clearing it up, and I was using some products that were working really, really well, and I was pretty happy with the direction my skin was going in. And then boom, I found out I was pregnant, so I had to stop using them. But then I realized I didn't even, well, my roommate actually made me realize. She was like, your skin looks really great. Like, she was like, is it the stuff you've been using? I was like, oh, well, you know, it was working, but I haven't used it in a couple weeks because of the baby and stuff. And y'all, like, my face has started to clear up even more. Like, I recently had a random like breakout. I had like literally a pimple pop up on my cheek right here, like a really big pimple pop up on my cheek, and then maybe one somewhere else, but that's it. Like, I haven't had any breakouts, any new breakouts, and a lot of the old stuff is clearing up. My skin is like glowing. I look golden brown under this makeup because I look frumpy and ugly on camera in front of these lights. And we just not there yet for me to just be sitting in front of y'all talking to y'all. Now, when I get fatter and uglier and start getting fat and losing the shape of my face and stuff, and I start looking like a thumb, y'all ain't gonna get no makeup, because I ain't gonna have time. I don't even know if I'm gonna do my hair for real before I get on this camera. Y'all just gonna have to take what I give y'all. But yeah, that's pretty much it, honestly, for weeks 4 through 9. Well, before I found out I was pregnant, to week 9 or whatever. And yeah, I want to thank y'all for watching. I really, really appreciate y'all for sticking it out with me, especially with my damn dogs, like coming in here, like taking over the couch and that whole thing, and all this burping I've been doing throughout the video or whatever. Thank y'all so much for rocking with me. Thank y'all so much for supporting me. Y'all really are my family. Like y'all, we expanding the family. Like, we got a new addition, like coming into the Zanny family January 15th, 2019.